to kind of give a breakdown of the Superman trailer itself, this new one that hit. And I don't know, this kind of came out of nowhere today, Chris. I was looking at where the hell is this stupid thing? Sorry, I'm trying to do there it is. That's the one I want. So I don't know about you, but did you know this thing was coming?
Absolutely not. I had no idea. What a welcome surprise, though.
Yeah, it wasn't even like labeled Superman trailer. It was just like Superman tickets are on sale now. So the trailer drops, and as we are going to play a little bit more of it too, you see that the big, huge building already. And right away, you know that Superman is going to be catching this thing, right? But it's gorgeous looking. It really is gorgeous. And you have, this will probably happen kind of earlier on, I would assume, because, you know, a lot of the traditional Superman have that big, huge thing happen in the beginning where you got to go, well, where is he? And then he comes in and he saves the day, and it'll be this massive thing. I would assume that's what's going to go on. What do you think?
Oh, absolutely. You have to do that recall back to the Action Comics cover where he's holding the car. You
Yeah.
know, I feel like that's just so part of the zeitgeist and part of who Superman is. You have to establish he's here to save the day, and he's always going to be able to be the person who can catch the biggest stuff, handle the biggest problem.
How cool is that shot? You know, right? Her looking over and seeing him kind of catch it. It's pretty great. It's so funny because we'll discuss it afterwards. For the most part, I really love this trailer. I said like one or two things. Here's a guy who's never read a comic before. And it's like, hey, assholes. You can look at a thing and say, hey, that's not necessarily for me, but for me, for you, you might like it. And I'll tell you what it was. That there were two things for me that I was like, I don't know, I'm nervous about it, but we'll see how it comes out. Someone goes, take it from a Snyder, bro. I'm like, what are you talking about? This is my most anticipated movie, you morons. So again, him looking over and understanding. I love the kind of human side we're getting of Superman. There's some really gorgeous shots, man. I mean, look at all of that in the way that the when Lex's stuff lands, and that's what I caught from this trailer, Chris, and I wonder if you did too, is the emphasis on Lex Luthor here.
Oh, he's absolutely the champion of this entire trailer. It's all about him as far as I'm concerned.
Right.
And as somebody who, I'm a comics fan, obviously. I enjoy all the movies and everything. My like deep dive Superman love is the Superman animated series. And this trailer feels very much akin to that. It feels like a 90s kind of vibe of how we have this very delicious, cruel villain. And Nicholas Hoult chews everything so well in this.
I agree with you. And I think that the other thing is that I noticed is like where you had Donner's Superman was playing in the more kind of realism as well as Snyder's too, right? Like kind of a little more, they're trying to get more that realistic feel to it. This one is definitely playing in the comic book world. I mean, you can feel it. This is the comic book version of Superman, and old school, as you were mentioning, some of the old school stuff that we're seeing in it, and then the Action Comic stuff, and then the modern day stuff. As mentioned to who the writer is in general, with King coming on board to do this. So this, to me, I agree with you. Lex Luthor really is the one that you're like, okay, he is going to be a menace. Now, this was the part of the trailer, the first part, when I went, oh, why'd you show that? Because you have this part where this is great. You have the Fortress of Solitude. They go in right now, and they're gonna wreck shop here, obviously. And in doing so, when they wreck shop, they take out the robots. Now, we saw the scene with the robots that in that one scene, the long scene that they showed, and the robots are taking care of them, and they even showed it later on in this trailer. And then we also saw it, I think, in the first trailer where Superman holding one of the robots. It looks like the aftermath of this. So I was like, oh, why'd you show that? Why'd you show me how they got wrecked? Unless this happens first, but I'm pretty sure they showed me what happened. Okay, it is great to have Turtle Beach back. And I've been talking about Turtle Beach. You guys have been raving about Turtle Beach, and why wouldn't you? The Stealth 700 headset that I got, it was so great. It just stood out to me was the sound, man. Like just playing that Indiana Jones game, as I've told you guys, you could just hear every little thing. I love it. And it's just, it locks me in. It's better than the other previous headsets I've had. I don't like being aware that there's other things going on around me. I like being locked into it and hearing every bit of the sound design and just comfortability, to be honest with you. I could wear them for hours. I did. It's almost like they're so comfortable in my head. I was like, oh, I didn't realize I have these things on. I love how precise the audio is. I just feel like I'm so locked into the game when I'm doing it. And it's like that feeling I get when I'm in the theater. I'm just in the world because of the sound. I love sound. You guys know that. The other thing that's great about it is the 80-hour battery. That's crazy. I mean, you don't even feel like you ever have to even charge it. The worst is you're playing something and then it just craps out on you, and you're like, oh no. The Stealth 700, it has the industry's first ever cross-play dual wireless transmitter system. What it means is that you can seamlessly switch between your consoles and your PC with just a click of the button. It gets even better. While being connected to your console, the Stealth 700 can connect with your phone for music streaming or taking calls at the same time. Listen to your favorite songs while gaming, and it's all done with the Stealth 700. And this is the easy part. You head to turtlebeach.com, use that code Kristian for 10% off your entire order. 10% off at turtlebeach.com with the promo code Kristian. But you're going to purchase it, and then they're going to say, hey, where'd you hear about us? You say, our show. You support our show, you tell them that we sent you, and get the ultimate immersive gaming experience with Turtle Beach today.
I agree. I feel that. And I feel like editors these days too for trailers, trailer editing is such an art form, because how do you get people excited? How do you tell them enough of the plot without giving it all away, but showing enough to get people pumped about actually going? Particularly for something like this, where you're spending, $30 to go see this movie early, potentially,
Right.
outside
Right.
of your movie subscription. But man, yeah, this was the one moment where I had that too of, well, that's, I guess, where I can go to the bathroom. That's my
I don't want to know. I don't want to know what happens. So he comes in, and then who's strong enough to do that? Right? Like throwing him down there and putting him on the floor, which is pretty great. And he talks about how he wants him hurt. He wants him in trouble. He's the pure hatred for Superman. Glimpses of the Daily Planet. This is going to be, to me, really as important as Lex Luthor obviously is. This is the whole, you're either in or you're out for the relationship between these two.
Mhm.
It's so important.
Oh, 1,000%. Yeah, they're legacy characters.
They are, and
And
you
if
got
you're
to have
not
that,
on board for that,
you got to have that chemistry. You got to have that chemistry. You got to care. It's so funny. So, oh my God, I'm really hoping. So everybody who's joining in, please, thank you. If you did join in from the actual trailer reaction coming in here, if I got to hear one more person going, Superman can tell jokes. Superman can tell jokes. Yeah, no shit, Sherlock. It's a matter of when is he saying them? When is he saying the jokes? When are you going to have the jokes? Are you going to be in the middle of a fight, and does it seem realistic? He doesn't have to be total stoic. That's what people thought. Oh, you just want him to be sad, Superman? No, I just want to make sure that when you're doing it, it's not overpowering the scenes. But we're not there yet. So let's get to the next one. And I love the fact, like, when Lex brought that up about his family who raised him, all that, and you get to see James Gunn is very good at locking you in with emotion. As much as he relies on humor, he's very good at having you emotionally connect to the characters. And it looks like that's what he's trying to do here.
absolutely. He was so smart too to have this happen in this trailer after the previous one allowed us to fall in love with the Kents. From I'm gonna grab your boots to Pa Kent telling Superman how he has to be the person he wants to be, the change he wants to see in this world. They're such wholesome, salt of the earth people. And now we see this bald man threatening his family. You're already invested, even if you're not a Superman fan.
100%, because it's that layer. And right now, there's a good, to me, in the trailer, there looks like there's a pretty good balance, right? It's okay to have concerns about maybe there won't be, but right now, I think the balance is there and I'm excited to see what's going to happen here, because he's laying down, like, clearly it looks like that shot that we just saw with him laying on the bed, that's after Krypto brings him back.
Yeah.
Which is great. And look, this shot of Lex Luthor is just out of control good.
I love it. Well, Nicholas Hoult is so good too. I'm so glad we have just such a good actor as Lex.
Yes. And I think he's going to steal the show.
Mm-hmm.
I really do. He's phenomenal in it. And you look, this is the kind of misdirect I'm looking forward to, because I think all this, like I just said, I think this already happened, and that's why he's laying on the bed and doing all that. And you have this whole scene with him, kind of that wheezing is still the most powerful, that whole thing. And this is where we just discussed. I don't like the fact that we know that they eat it, these robots.
There could be more.
Yeah.
Maybe Superman just has a buttload of robots.
That's also true. I mean, look, the other day Yeah, it's true. I watched the Wicked 2 trailer. When I watched that trailer, I haven't seen the musical, so I don't know what's coming. And I said, "Oh man, I hope they just didn't give away a bunch of stuff in the trailer." And the amount of people that said it of no, it didn't. It didn't spoil it. You're okay. Don't worry about it. I was like, okay, maybe this is the same thing.
That's my hope, right? Is that they're just giving us some cool actiony bits, some nice kind of like centerpieces to focus on,
Yeah.
and it's all kind of a big misdirection so that the actual meat and potatoes of the movie is still in there and we haven't had it all just thrown at us already.
It does look, I mean, you look at everything so far that we've just looked at. I mean, the movie looks gorgeous.
Oh, absolutely. The color grading,
Oh
it's
my
so
god.
comic booky. It's
Yeah.
stunning.
It looks really good. So I like that they're using the kind of the old school Richard Donner font there. This is what we saw obviously in that scene with the robots kind of helping him out. And this is what I meant by the comic book stuff, right? I mean, this is about as comic book as you get. He's fighting big kaijus in the middle of of Metropolis, and he's flying around. And I love that the thing is hitting him with fire, but it's Superman, so he's flying right through it. It's great. It's
Oh, it's
great.
incredible.
Yeah, and so this whole battle, everything that's going on here, and he's just pissed off, and then the cat and mouse tit for tat, Luthor, and then this thing here. So this is the okay. So this is the part for me. There are two parts. I don't know. Crypto coming in. I'm not on board with the crypto thing yet. I could be. I need context. I have to find. I know. I have, and I understand everybody else is, and I'm not telling him. Oh, it looks so stupid. I'm just not on board with it yet. I could be when
That's
I see
fair.
the movie. Him getting involved here, fine. What I didn't like was not the crypto part of it. It's this. Come on. What are we doing with the slow motion and the teeth? What are we doing?
It takes me out because it hits the lens. Don't let me know that I'm part of a movie.
It's a gimmick. It's a gimmick. And it's like there's no need for that. I get the crypto coming in to fight and working with them, even though I get it. That's great. People are going to lose their minds when they see it's like Yoda with the lightsabers in the second. They're gonna lose their minds. It's gonna be a big moment. But you take away from the moment when it's like, look at this cool thing. He knocked his teeth out. Now it hits the camera. It's like unnecessary. Let's not worry about. Yeah, the style. It's like I don't know. Some people dig it. So some people like in the comments, some people like the fact that he knocked his teeth out, but they don't like the fact that it hit the camera. Right.
Yeah.
So that's whatever. I just hope the style of their substance doesn't happen. Doesn't seem like that's going to be the case. Okay, so this is an example of what I was going to say with people who aren't paying attention to anything. I think Guy Gardner is going to be the way you get a lot of the humor out in this movie. You can put a lot, and there's going to be humor with crypto also, but I don't think like should Guy Gardner be serious? No, he should be. He should be ridiculous. That haircut alone tells you that he's ridiculous.
He got hit by a bus and has a frontal lobe injury. He says whatever he wants the minute he wants to. You know? And Nathan Fillion's even talked about this of modeling his character after Sophia from the Golden Girls. He's
right.
gonna be our fun say anything you want to character.
Yes, and let him so let him be that device. Let him be the one who's maybe during a battle, he's the one kind of cracking jokes, right? So this is a great. I love this whole thing in the baseball stadium, them fight here, the throw, and again, you see this whole moment where whatever. What's she driving right there? What is that?
That part I was like, when did Lois get this? How far along is she in her own journey with Superman here that she's like, oh yeah, I'll just pilot this spaceship. I got it.
It seems like, and clearly that's going to be towards the end of the movie, which we would assume. Love the fact that he's wrecking shop with that. He's get this scene. I think is gonna be pretty powerful with the kids. And I loved what Lex said there, where he's just like, fine, they want to go with him, then the hell with them. They'll let them die too. Whatever it is that he actually says, but that's the gist of it. And again, it's really going to be about the two of them just going after it the whole entire time.
100%. And that's when I think we have some of the best stories is when we see this idea of just pure corrupt evil versus someone who is constantly trying to find the good in everyone. Because he even tries to do it throughout the comic books, throughout the shows and the movies. He constantly tries to find the good in Lex too. And every now and then he can't even overcome it. And I love that we're seeing a Lex who's already stepping up to the plate with that kind of just cruelty.
So far gone into evil. Yeah, I love it. We need that. And then I still love this shot so much. Like that's an example. that slow motion style, and like sometimes I can't stand slow motion. Like, why are they doing it in the middle? Slow motion for this right now, I think works wonderfully to show the impact, what he does, how devastating it is. There are times that slow motion can really, really work. And I think it works wonderfully here as opposed to teeth hitting a camera, which I don't think is necessary. This does. This shows you this is intense right now, and the slow mo and all that, and seeing every little detail of everything going around intensifies that.
Absolutely. It doesn't disrupt the reality of what you're consuming, right?
Yeah.
It's not a moment of, oh, yep, I'm watching a movie and that's just hit the screen and I'm part of the audience watching this. This is a slow down moment of he moves so quickly that
Right.
in his own mind, he would be able to be doing this slowly. We see the care and tucking her head and all the other things he's doing to make sure she's safe. This is a
Yeah.
great moment. This is a beautiful shot.
Great moment. And I got so much from Corn Sweat in this trailer that I didn't get in the other ones, too, even though we had that moment, obviously. But okay, so this is the part that everyone got mad at me about. So Mr. Terrific goes, "Come on, let's go." And I'll turn it up here. It might be echoed for people, but
Messing around. I'm not messing around. I'm doing important stuff.
I don't love it. I don't love it. It's like, oh, you need him to be serious all the time. I mean, look, again, I need context inside of the movie, and maybe he's just like, what are you talking about? I'm out here, I'm trying to beat the piss out of people breaking my chops, I'm laying down. I understand the gist of it. I get what they're going for. At that moment, though, I'm like, okay, is he just he's fine? He's just he's gonna kind of joke it off. Is he cracking these types of jokes? People are like, Superman is funny. He was funny in the Donner movies. Yes, he cracks little quips here and there. I get it. The question is, when is he telling the jokes? How serious of the moment? I haven't seen the movie. This could fit very well into the vibe of it the whole time. I just get nervous because James Gunn likes to do a lot of comedy stuff. And sometimes I'm like, okay, could you have just sat in that emotion for a second and not had a joke? I don't need a full serious Superman. We had that already. I like the fact that we're getting a little bit more humor and jokes. And I know that Superman jokes. I get it. You don't have to write it in every other comment. I understand it. But what I'm saying is that if you take it away from an emotional moment, it could be a problem. I don't know if that's the case here, but that is my concern.
Wow, the internet's really coming after you, man.
On
They're
the,
like, whoa.
did you saw my trailer reaction?
Yeah.
It's like
Well,
every
I do
other
find this
comment.
charming. I find this to be a charming little moment. But I'm with
Most
you, and I
people
totally
did.
understand that. Like,
Yeah.
if it's totally like ruins the moment of the intensity of the attack or the emotional build that's happening, I'm hoping it's a great moment of levity because I am liking that we're getting a Superman with an actual personality. So I'm
Agreed.
hoping that's more where we're leaning.
I couldn't agree with you more. And I think that that's why, again, when in a 6-minute reaction, I don't have enough time to really go over all my thoughts, but I couldn't agree. That's the ironic part of it. I agreed with most of the comments that were in that trailer reaction of like, well, we don't need a full-on Superman. He should be able to lighthearted. He should have a personality. I agree with all of it. I'm telling you that it just depends on when he is doing it. If I have to see the movie in the same way with Crypto. There's that scene. I didn't love the him hopping on Superman in that moment where he's like when he hits that ground and he's wheezing, you're like, oh man, you're like so locked into this emotion. And then that emotion is gone because you have this goofy dog who's jumping on his head. You're like, oh, aren't you a dog lover? Yeah, I have a dog. And my dog probably would do something like that. Doesn't mean that, and I'm not Clark though. Clark's probably like, get the hell out of here and bring me home. But I'm not Clark. You're not asking me to be in pain. You're asking me to go, oh, that's funny. He's jumping on his head. And so I need to see more context with Crypto because I'm like, okay, this dog's just a complete spaz and he needs him at this point. Does it fit in the layer of the movie? And I think it's fair to say.
Yeah, I can understand that. I am also incredibly biased towards Crypto because he looks so much like my dog. And so every time he comes on screen, I'm just like, that's the goodest boy in the world, and he's gonna save all of us, and he's never done anything wrong. I'd give him my wallet. I love him. But
Yeah.
I can understand. I think it's a fair criticism to go,
Yeah.
if this disrupts the flow of everything, if it's supposed to give me more yucks than like actually be invested in an emotional moment, then yeah. I don't want it to take a turn like, the Thor movies, right? Balanced humor and action for a really long time. And then for me, Love and Thunder was way too much of that. Let's really lean into comedy and
Oh, God, it
jokes
was
and
the time of my
slapstick.
life. Saturday Night Live. I can't. I know you can't do that. And Guardians 2 to me was. I've softened on Guardians 2, as I've said many times over, especially after the last rewatch I did of it. But I still feel the same way. I feel like there's way too many jokes and too many people have jokes. The emotional moments hit really hard. But that's what I'm worried about. Guardians 3 to me is a perfect balance. It's my favorite out of the three of them. So I'm hoping for something like that in this movie, that kind of balance. I'm on board 100%. It's so funny. Like again, with you can't with movies this big with this much conversation around it, you can't win. I mean, you can't. I just saw somebody in the comment section saying, "Are you getting paid to hype this movie?" Well, wait a minute. Go to the meetings. You're missing the meetings. The meeting right now, the latest board meeting is that I hated and I'm a Snyder bro because I didn't like the humor in it. So that's the latest meeting. So you missed out on the meeting. They say that I don't like the movie. So you're saying I hype it. You got to go to the meeting and you guys have to decide which one it is because
we can't ask for nuance from the comments. Come on. That's not fair.
It's not. So anyway, so we get this. I love that shot of his his chest and as he's coming back in and this. When did we get to see Superman doing that? You know what I mean?
I love this so much.
Love this. This is all I want to see. I don't want to see any more of it. I love the logo of it, and I think that's really. Here we go. So, this shot of his eyes up on me when he started. Then the way that they promoted this was really smart. So that's the overall trailer, and I think it worked. I think it did its job for the most part. But I'm assuming from what you're saying here, you love this trailer.
Oh, I do. I love this trailer. They've gotten me in all of them. The teaser, the last one, this one. I've been so on board. And I'm really excited about this. I think everything about it so far has just felt so much like how I feel when I read a Superman story. It invokes all of those emotions of seeking out the best in people and having hope and knowing that somebody is going to do the right thing. And those are the things that I've always loved about reading this character. I know he gets some crap about being a Boy Scout and everything, and I've certainly had moments and issues with that in his characterization before. But I like that this feels like a very humanistic Clark who happens to have superpowers. And those are my favorite kind of stories anyway, when we have that really human element and focus.
We might need a Boy Scout right now.
Honestly, I mean, in this current timeline, love it.
Why not? And the other thing is when we had, because I don't know where you stand on Man of Steel. I like Man of Steel a lot. I like the movie. Okay, I like it. But I also the Donner movies are my favorite. 1 and 2 are my favorite. I would love to see a different version of that, paying homage to Superman in general. But I couldn't agree more with these people when they're saying we need a new version of Superman. We need a lighthearted Superman. We need a Superman with hope because we've seen the other stuff. We've seen it before. We've seen the darker version. We've seen the other things. I want to see this version of it. But my biggest concern overall is just tone. And I think that they can nail it. And I've said it a million times over. If you go to my list, it's my number 1 most anticipated movie of the year. I'm pumped for it, but fingers crossed.
My only real concern is the potential of overstuff. You know?
Yes.
We got a lot of super people in here. We got a lot of moving parts. That's the thing I'm hoping. And given James Gunn's track record, I think he's probably struck a really nice balance. But that's the only thing that I'm still a little hesitant on we've got a lot going on in a first Superman movie, you know?
I agreed. I talked about it actually in the reaction that one of the things, because they didn't even show Hawkgirl in this, right? And if you did, you saw her for a brief moment. You got to establish the Lois Clark relationship. You have to establish the Superman and Lex Luthor feud. You've got to establish the Daily Planet. You've got to establish all this stuff, and then you have to establish the DCU inside of it. And this movie's only the runtime 203, 204.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot to put into an hour and 22 minutes or whatever it is.
I believe it's the same runtime as Guardians, the first one. And he packed a lot into that one, right? We all got on board with a sentient raccoon real fast.
He did. Yeah, he did.
I've got high hopes.
He did. And I think that this is a movie to me that I'm just going to feel like a little kid again watching it, because Superman has always been my favorite comic book character. It's something that I always remember going to when I saw those movies with my dad as a kid. It was like, I still somewhere I told my dad this recently. Somewhere there was a Father's Day card that I made for my dad that said, "Hey, Superman 3 is coming out. Can we go see it in the theater tonight? Happy Father's Day." And I have it somewhere. I was like
Aw.
5 or 6 years old. I can't remember how old it was. But either way, that I just all my early movie memories are Christopher Reeve, Superman, all of it. So I want to see them. I want him to be in the forefront again, and I want him to kind of be the guy. And
Yeah.
like I feel this movie could make him the guy.
That's the hope, right? Because it has felt weird with DC movies the last few
Yeah.
years of not having like our big three, if you will, really
Yeah.
in the limelight. And Superman not being part of a lot of these movies has just felt odd. And again, I think even if you're not a huge comic book person, everyone knows enough about how the DC comic world works. And Superman is this really iconic character. He's got to be leading the charge. He's got to be in your universe for it to feel like the DC universe. So this movie has a lot to prove.
It's funny because yesterday I was talking about it. There's 2 comic runs. There's World's Finest, which is because James Gunn said there was something that they were doing afterwards. It's not a direct sequel, but he's working on something. And I said Kingdom Come was the other one because there's another comic called Kingdom Come. And someone was like, "You mean World's Finest?" I was like, "I think I mean Kingdom Come." And they're like,
Yeah.
"No, that doesn't exist." And I was like, it does exist. And I looked at it, and it made me feel like it didn't exist. And I looked it up, and Kingdom Come is another one. I don't know if that's going to be. I think that might not. I think World's Finest is probably more realistic because I think it still takes place with a younger Superman. I think Kingdom Come is an older Superman.
Kingdom
Do you
Come
know?
has a lot happening in that one too. Yeah, that is
Okay.
a big epic, if you will, Avengers level kind of storyline.
Right.
Stunning
Okay.
art. Oh my gosh.
But he's older in that one, isn't he?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, someone said that should be the final saga. That makes sense. Totally. Either way, I think that this movie, look, the hype behind this thing, the conversation behind it, whether good or bad, the conversation it's lively, and there has not been a lot of that this year with movies. Like this is a good sign for the movie, even if you have people going blah blah blah, and it's not in a Snow White type of way. It's a way like this is going to be bad, and it's like no, it isn't. I'm going to go see it immediately, as opposed to this is going to be bad. It probably is, but I'm not going to talk about it. See you later. That was Snow White. It's like no one went and saw that, but this people are going to go see.
Oh, absolutely. Even if they do think it's going to be a terrible movie, they want to be right about it, which is always so interesting. I want to be right about this movie being bad.
That's a good
Or
point.
just go and see if you have a fun time. That's maybe a better mentality, y'all.
Yeah, but either way, Warner Brothers will be laughing to the bank at that one. At
Oh,
that
absolutely.
point, we'll be tracking like 175 or whatever it is potentially, and then the tickets went on sale today. So I'm very curious by the time we get to tomorrow, like what that looks like.
Have you checked out the pre-screens?
No,
There's almost, at least here, so many of them are almost sold out. And I'm
Makes sense.
trying to go in IMAX, right? And it's all just front rows. I'm just going to be watching Superman like this the whole time.
Yeah. Okay. So I have to like start to look into those screenings soon, because I cannot wait. I just can't wait. I cannot wait to just shove popcorn in my face and then just crossing my fingers. I want this to succeed. I really do.
Same.
Speaking of comic books and other things. Well, before I even do that, make sure that people know I need everyone's thoughts on the trailer, on the film itself. Do you think it's going to be good? Do you think it's going to be bad? Do you like a lot of the humor? Do you not like the humor? Put all your thoughts on there, whether it is in the